All right, guys, you're going to want to listen up today. This is a big one. You've got to pay attention, man. I was thinking about this earlier, and I just felt like now is a good time to share. And, it's something that I was meditating on for about 40 minutes earlier, and I just got to get this message out. This won't resonate with everyone, but this will resonate with a select group of people, and I hope that it provides some relatability, some insight, some comfort. But before we get started, go ahead and hit subscribe. If you're not already, I'm dropping a video daily, and we're going all the way with this thing. We're going all the way. So if you've been watching my channel, I appreciate your support already because we're building a tribe here, a close-knit community. So let's get into it, man. Look, about 7 years ago, I was working at Best Buy when I just had hit rock bottom. I was starting over. I was in the Marine Corps, then I had started college, and I found myself working at Best Buy, and I was asset protection. So I'm the guy in the yellow shirt when they used to have the guy in the yellow shirt standing at Best Buy with the earpiece on. I'm standing there at the podium, and I met a lot of interesting people. And I remember this one day I'm standing there as I'm just hardly getting paid anything. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for life. I'm literally 3 roommates in a shitty apartment, and I'm standing there at the podium at the computer screen, and some guy comes up to me and he just said, "Do I know you? Like, you just look famous. You look famous." And I feel like, "Are you?" And I said, I don't know, I'm not. Like, I'm not at all. He said, "Man, you look like you're somebody, man. Like, you look like you're famous or something, or you should be. I don't know." And that was 7 years ago, and that really stuck with me as I was in a phase of my life that I was transitioning, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And, for so long, I always felt like I was meant for something great. And I've hit rock bottom many times. Growing up, I sucked in school. I mean, I did terrible in school growing up. I was in special needs classes for math for elementary school, middle school, high school, and even in college. It took me 7 years to finish my bachelor's degree, but I went to the Marine Corps right out of high school because I was lost. I didn't really have the masculine, guidance, the father figure that I needed. So I went in the military. I got made fun of in the military. I got picked on because I was naive. I was, raised by, I was around a lot of women. I have sisters, my mom, and, I was around a lot of feminine energy growing up. And I think I realized that I needed to have some kind of other guidance in my life. It was something that I was lacking. And I even got made fun of when I was in the military because I took care of my appearance. I worked out a lot, and I had a best friend, and we always were together. And they always called him my boyfriend, but it was just probably them projecting that they didn't have someone that they were close to, someone they could bond with. And, it really bothered me for a long time, just always getting made fun of. People telling me that I wasn't going to be crap in my life. You're not going to be shit. People that I've worked for, and even people close to me. And even this very person, this guy who was one of my best friends for like 6 years in the military, and even 2 years after. So I would say for 6 years, he was my best friend. We talked every day. And as I started to evolve and grow, he wasn't aligned, and he felt intimidated from my energy of growth and wanting more for myself and discovering more. He was very closed-minded, and I wish the guy the best, but we haven't talked in years now. And the chosen ones is unique. I genuinely believe that every single person on this earth was meant to do, that has greatness inside of them. Every single person on this earth has the potential inside of them for greatness. However, I don't think that everyone gets to a point where they achieve the conscious awareness of what they should be doing, their purpose, and actually carry that mission out. Having the courage to carry that mission out, because it's a very lonely journey. It's a very grueling process, lots of pain, lots of self-doubt, and lots of hate. The road to success is a very lonely road. Many people will love you, but also many people will hate you. And there's a lot of times of isolation, lots of, like discrimination So the definition for the chosen ones that people are talking about is individuals or groups believed to be specially selected or destined for a unique purpose, often due to divine will, inherent abilities, specific circumstances, or even self-perception. This status typically implies a significant destiny, unique qualities, challenges, a sense of responsibility, and the potential for impactful actions as seen in religious figures, mythological heroes, and characters in various forms of fiction. Though the term can also carry connotations of elitism in non-fictional context. So I'm not saying that I'm like necessarily better than anyone else, guys. I'm not saying that at all, but I really feel like everyone was here with greatness inside of them. It's just that not everyone actually unlocks that and makes a big impact. And I genuinely always felt like I was here for a big impact. I just didn't know in what way. When I was a kid, my childhood dream was to always be a movie actor, to be in Hollywood. I had people tell me to be a stuntman. You should be an actor. And I even kind of started going down that path a little bit. But I pulled back because I guess it just didn't feel right for me. And it's a good thing I didn't go to Hollywood because, you basically have to sell your soul pretty much like 9 times out of 10. And I did theater growing up. My drama teacher said that I should be doing this. And it's just, man, I never knew what I wanted to do. It was like always being a fitness trainer. I did coaching for a while. I am still a coach. So, by the way, if you want help one-to-one, I do video calls. My email is in the video description and also in my bio on my YouTube page. But I did personal training for a while. Did coaching men, coaching women, and people always told me I should be a coach. It was always so easy to talk to anyone and everyone. I can connect with anyone from any walk of life. I've always been able to find common ground with anyone and level with them, And I guess it was in the beginning of 2017, after a really tough breakup, I started getting into astrology and numerology and all this kind of stuff. And I actually got like a numerology report. It's like 200 pages. Numerology is really interesting to me, and astrology as well. And I got into my natal chart and all that. But I basically found out that I'm a life path 11, and life path 11 is a master number, and I think it's 11, 22, and 33. So there's only 3 master numbers. And the description for a life path 11 is basically someone who is highly intuitive. They should be leading, they should be teaching. They are an empath, someone who is meant to make a big imprint on the world, a big footprint of impact. And it's associated with intuition, spiritual insight, and inspiring others. As an 11, you're deeply sensitive, highly intuitive, and have the potential to be a visionary or healer. You feel emotions intensely, which can lead to anxiety or inner conflict, but you're here to uplift and guide others through your words, your presence, and example. Your greatest lessons involved trusting your intuition, balancing spiritual gifts with practical action, and embracing leadership even when it feels uncomfortable. Though the path may be challenging, it's meant to be deeply meaningful. And this is just me to a T. So I was a personal trainer for a while, did a lot of coaching. I've had a corporate job now in sales for about 3 years. Super grateful for it, but I know that it's probably not going to be what I'll be doing for forever. Because I know that I was meant here for something different. And there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. It's respectable. And sometimes it's good to do that while you're building something on the side. But it was about a year and a half ago I hit rock bottom. I was completely broke. I had a great physique, but my job wasn't working out. Then I didn't have a job for about 4 months. I had to move back in with my parents in Mississippi, and I was living in Atlanta. I live in Atlanta now again. But yeah, I had a nice apartment. I had money saved up, and then I lost my savings. Everything dwindled away because I didn't have a job for about 5 months. I had applied to over probably 300 jobs, interview after interview. I traveled. Nothing worked out, man. I was depressed. I was drinking. I was vaping. I was hooked on porn, bad habits. I was waking up late. I was feeling very, very depressed, and I had very dark thoughts because I just couldn't imagine that my life had just flipped around. Like I went from being in an elevated state to being at rock bottom. And I'm very fortunate to have parents that I could go stay with for about 9 months. And anyway, long story short, things started to come together. I started praying, asking God to light my path. And really, I'd never really been super religious, but I always associated God, relation with God, with church. And that's not how you should do it, right? They really should not be together. Honestly, you can have a relationship with God and not go to church, like go to a church. Okay. So not really a big deal, but God started to light my path. And about a year ago, he told me to do YouTube. And I always faced this conflict because I felt like, man, I was 32 at the time. I'm 33 now. Man, I always wanted to be a movie actor. What if I feel like that's what I should be doing. And then I got the answer. God basically told me to start YouTube and share my story, share my messages, share my insights, and not go to toxic Hollywood. And so I feel like I could actually provide these messages to you guys through YouTube, just like I'm talking to my younger self, just like I'm talking to a friend, right? I'm sitting here talking to you right now. And it's an outlet for me of creative expression because you have to express yourself. You have to share yourself. And most people aren't going to be able to relate to that. You have to trust your intuition and follow what your heart is telling you. And it held me back for so long because I was afraid what other people would think. I was afraid of judgment, of being an outcast. But the truth is, I've been an outcast for so long. And I'm so grateful to have a handful of really close guy friends that I talk to quite often. But I've also been single for 8.5 years. I mean, I have dated, I've been with a lot of women, but I just haven't met someone yet that, checks the boxes for me. But I know that eventually I trust that God will bring the right woman into my life when the time is right. And I'll be 34 in June, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Most people aren't going to understand, and the life path 11 is so different. It's so unique and so highly energetically charged. We go through a lot of trauma. We go through a lot of darkness and a lot of hard times because you need that to get the life that you want. Like it's all about the journey, right? But with a desire to make such a large impact on the world comes an equal amount of pain. It's the polarity. It's the duality of life. It's the yin and the yang, right? There's always that dark and the light, night and day. So with desire to make such impact, with desire to live a life of such holistic abundance, becomes an equal amount of pain, an equal amount of hard lessons. And it's crazy. It's really crazy. Some famous life path 11s are Oprah Winfrey, Nelson Mandela, Lady Gaga, Elon Musk, Angelina Jolie, Steve Jobs, Beyonce, Dalai Lama, Adele, Leonardo DiCaprio. These are just some. Michael Jordan, Orlando Bloom, Prince William, Madonna, Robert Downey Jr., Barack Obama. Well, he's kind of sus, but Jennifer Aniston. Like, I don't know. I mean, think what you want of these people, but it's a unique thing. And a lot of people will avoid you. A lot of people are afraid of you because of the energy that you give off. Because you emit a powerful energy, bro. Like, others cannot handle that. That's the thing, that it's high vibe people naturally radiate strong energy, and it's very intimidating for a lot of people. Many people these days, they operate at such a lower vibe frequency. They live in fear, negativity, consumed on their ego, and they feel uncomfortable around that intense light, around that intense energy, that aura, because it's an aura that you give off. And people subconsciously and consciously avoid you. It's a lonely path. It's a lonely journey. But if you just stay on your path, live your truth, to shine your brightest light is to be who you truly are. And as long as you do that, you will attract the right people into your life. And maybe it takes you longer to find your purpose. Maybe it takes you longer to attract the right friends into your life, the support. Don't tell small-minded people about your goals, because you're just going to get hate and rejection. You're going to talk shit. Maybe it takes you longer to find your partner. I haven't met my woman yet, but I know that she's out there somewhere. And I trust the process, the journey. And a lot of people will avoid you, man. Like, that's the thing. I had a group of friends that I used to hang out with, several years back, like 4 or 5 years ago, and young professionals, good jobs, good people, like to party, like would go to raves and stuff. I like EDM music. So, raves, festivals, go to a festival like once a year, but I used to be hardcore into it. And this group of friends that I had at the time, like they used to always invite me to do stuff. And then actually recently I was going to go to a show here in Atlanta. It was Griffin. Griffin's one of my favorite DJs. He was playing at a venue here. And I hadn't talked to these people in months, but I, sent a few of the guys in the group chat a message, and I just said, hey, like, are you guys going to this show? Wanted to see if you guys wanted to go hang out. And they said that they were going, and they already had a group to go. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll just meet up with you guys there, then I'll see him. I didn't meet up with him. I didn't see him. I just went with a girl. But it's because they didn't invite me, so I'm not going to go. But the thing is they know that I probably wouldn't want to hang out with them anyway. I mean, I would have gone to the show with them, but I don't ever talk to them in general, and they don't ever invite me to do stuff anyway. And that's fine, because 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to want to hang out with them or go do stuff. And so they already know that I don't want to, and I know that they don't want to. It's just kind of the way it is, right? Because I'm just into different stuff. I'm into my personal development, and like, honestly, I want to only be around people who I feel like are on the same frequency. And I'm very protective of my energy these days. I really am. And you have to be, because we have a lot to give. We are unique. The chosen ones are unique. And actually connected with a guy on YouTube. His name is Terry Joel Jr. on his YouTube channel, by the way. Got like 125K subs. He's actually become a good friend of mine. He's up in Canada. He's also been a mentor as well. Helped me with YouTube get going, providing me insights. And I think he's a Life Path 33. And it's just cool how we connect. And, he's a healer as well. And it's an isolating journey for a lot of years, because you have to spend a lot of time in solitude. And you have to spend a lot of time just trying to recharge your energy and figure out exactly what you should be doing, because you have to live in alignment. That's the thing. But, normies, so to speak, feel uncomfortable around us. So that's why we all really have to stick together. People that feel that they're the chosen ones. But I'm here to help everyone. I'm here to help you guys. I'm here to help you, like every single person. We're here to spread light. But the closed circle really is the chosen ones, as we, talk to each other on a regular basis and grow together and level up together. It's a different level of grind. It's a visionary. It's all this stuff, man. And yeah, after this breakup I got into I think it was at the beginning of 2018, I got deep into astrology, philosophy, psychology, numerology, into like fitness coaching and all kinds of different stuff. I've had so many different interests, and everyone always told me, man, you should really be a coach. You should work with people. I think you'd be really good at it. And I've just connected with some of the most unique people, and just seeing how my life lined up, connecting the dots, looking back, it all makes sense. And it took me literally all through my 20s to even figure out what it was that I wanted to do. But once I asked God to light my path, to show me my purpose, everything started to line up. But, the chosen ones, often we think differently, right? We question the norms, and we don't want to just conform to society's status quo. It's not it. The presence of the chosen ones forces other people to reflect on their own lives in a very deep way, which, if you're not ready for it, it can be unsettling. People fear change. We're creatures of habit, humans. And the chosen ones represent transformation. And I feel like I've had to kill myself many times. I've hit rock bottom many times. And not physically kill myself, but just death of the old self and evolving into a new self, just constantly evolving and making sure that I'm in alignment and doing what I want, living my truth, and just being different, just being me, my authentic self, And it's just always been this feeling like I'm different, feeling like there's something about me, this aura about me. It's an intimidating aura to some people, but the right people who fuck with your vibe, they fuck with you, man. But so many people are intimidated by it. I've even asked people who I thought were cool, like, hey, like, you want to hang out sometime? Or, you know, maybe I travel for work sometime and I ask a buddy I know in a different city, want to meet up for lunch, doesn't even respond. It's because some people feel like they're not worthy. They feel like that I'm on a different level than them, right? And I don't know what it is. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone else. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's an isolating thing. Even if you don't say anything, people can feel that you're not like everyone else, bro. That's the thing. You have a depth, the intuition, and that authenticity makes superficial interactions difficult. I've had this experience with women. It's also why I've had such a tough time meeting and bonding with the right woman, because it's just got to be in alignment. And a lot of people aren't going to get you, bro. They're going to see you as a threat, and they're also going to be jealous. They're going to be very jealous. Like, it just happens. It's insecurity, it's jealousy, it's you having that confidence that radiates any kind of talents or unique skill sets you have, or just any kind of spiritual gifts. It triggers envy with a lot of people, and they don't like that. And then what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of people that are going to avoid you, and maybe they'll talk shit about you behind your back because they feel inferior, or they're in fear of being exposed, that you can bring out, that you can find out the deeper parts of them. It's also kind of that crabs in a bucket mentality too. They don't want to see you rise. Like, I had this one friend, this best friend I was telling you about, I was in the Marine Corps with for 4 years, and then for 2 years after, we were friends. And dude, it's crazy because as I was starting to tell him about like philosophy, psychology, or, you know, astrology, numerology, and all this kind of stuff, I was sharing some ideas with him, and he was rejecting it because he thought that it was weird and taboo, or I don't know. But this guy had a closed mindset. He didn't have a growth mindset. And he also saw me as a threat because I was evolving. I was growing. I was, you know, he was in an unhappy marriage. He let his body go. He was honestly a miserable human being. And he would talk shit about people who wanted better for themselves. And that's what happened. And I had to cut that relationship, you know, because a lot of people in our life are either a blessing or a lesson. Sometimes they're both. And a lot of people just play a certain role in our life to provide lessons for us in that season of our life. So it's just a season, right? But, you know, so many people want to try to fit you into a box. They want to try to put you into a box. And they have this own narrative in their mind of how they think you should be or what you should do. And when you start to do something differently, it makes people feel uneasy, right? It makes you a threat to them. If you reject any kind of societal programming, other people are going to avoid you out of confusion or fear. They don't understand you. They're afraid of you. It's different. It's powerful. It's an aura about you. And society conditions people to accept certain behaviors and beliefs. That's just how it is. And that's why there's guys that have gotten tons of hate over the years. Andrew Tate. You know, you can just think about all the very controversial people. And I'm not saying that I support Andrew Tate like 100% with all his beliefs or anything. But the chosen ones are not trying to seek validation when they are in a more evolved state. And that unnerves people who do. Now, there was a period of time where I wanted to spotlight myself for my ego. And it was so miserable. I wasn't happy. It was all about me, my physique, and wanting to be an online fitness influencer and all this bullshit. And it was miserable inside. And that's when I hit rock bottom, and I had to go move in with my parents because I had to kill my old self and to get alignment with now where I should be going and what I should be doing. And that's doing YouTube. Because it's not about me, it's about you. It's about me sharing my messages, my stories to help you, to guide you, to be the light for you, to be the lighthouse in the storm for you. And I don't need external validation anymore. I don't care about what anybody thinks or says about me. I don't give a shit. I'm just living my truth, because you only live once. And you have to live your truth. You have to share your story. The thing with the chosen ones too is people see their flaws in you. You are a mirror. That's what it is. The authenticity reflects their lack of self-awareness. And it makes so many people uncomfortable, man. People tend to project their own fears, their regrets, or unhealed trauma onto you. That's what it is. When you start to get hate, right? Because the road to success is a very lonely road. Many people will love you, but also many people will hate you, man. Because your success and rise to success is like a spotlight shining down on their missed opportunities, failures, what could have been, man. And when you get hate and stuff, it's usually people projecting how they feel. They're insecure. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do all with them. If there's something that, think about this. This is a thought exercise. If there's something that someone does and it bothers you, take the time to self-reflect and think, why is this triggering to me? Like you see someone and they, with their girlfriend or their wife or their amazing family, or, maybe they have a great house or their level of success perceives, so to speak, and it triggers you. Why does it trigger you? Think about why it triggers you. Because most of the time we're triggered because it's a projection of something that we're lacking, or an area inside of us that needs work. But you are a mirror. The chosen ones are a mirror. And you're meant for a higher path. And with having that higher path, you have divine protection. I should have died many times. I was in combat. I thought I was going to die when I went over to Afghanistan in 2011. I came back and I was alive. I had friends that died, lost their legs, lost their limbs, all kinds of crazy stuff. I was crazy when I was a kid in high school, all kinds of car accidents and speeding tickets and everything else. Like I was a complete degenerate for many, many years. As a matter of fact, when I was 4 years old, I was in the hospital. I went to the hospital. The doctors still don't know what happened. Long story short, I went to the hospital at 4 years old after staying with my grandmother. I took some antibiotic. I don't know if it was like dementia medication that my granddad had or what, but I went to the hospital, and for a whole week I was in the hospital. Altered mental state is what they called it. And I was completely out of it. I felt like I was out of this world. It was literally like tripping on acid. I don't know what happened, but it was an altered mental state. That's all they said. Nobody knows what happened to me. They put me in a padded room, and my parents never thought that I was going to regain mental sanity again. And one night, my mom said she was praying at the window, and she was praying to God and said, "You know what, dear Lord, take Brian from me if you want. If you will, I release him. It's up to you now." It's just like letting go of control, which is pretty crazy. And my mom said shortly after, this lady walks in. I think she said her name was Glenda. She walks in the room, and this nurse, my mom had never seen before. She had black hair, and she was very calm, and she said, she just talked to my mom and comforted her and asked if she could pray over me. She said, "I've never seen someone pray over him like this before. It was crazy. So comforting, so much peace." And then she left. And then when she left, I'm getting chills right now talking about this. When she left, my mom saw the nurse that was working the floor. She came to the hospital, or she came in our room, and my mom asked who that nurse was, the one who came in and prayed over me. And the assigned nurse to my mom said, "I've never seen her before. I don't know who she is. I don't know who that is. There's no one here by that name." I got chills again. And so that was crazy. My mom was blown away. The next day I woke up and I was in a healthy mental state. Like I was back to earth. I don't know. It was crazy. And I went home right before Christmas. It was the weirdest thing, man. I still remember it to this day. 4 years old. My mom said to this day she thought that was an angel. And that is a big part of why I believe that angels do exist. So, divine protection. I was meant to do something great, and I'm still trying to figure it out as we go along, but I know the YouTube thing is definitely a good place to start, and things are starting to line up. And we're going to the moon with this, man. But a little bit of a ramble, but if you feel rejected by people, if you feel like you're isolated, It's just a temporary season. Stay on your path, follow your heart, trust your intuition, your inner compass. If I would just have trusted myself more at an earlier age, things would be different. But you are here now for a reason. You are where you are where you are here right now where you should be. All these lessons, all these experiences led you to where you are now. And even there was a period of time for about a year I didn't have any friends because I was just evolving. I was going into a new phase of my life, new state, new school, new job, everything. Didn't have any friends. My sister was the only friend I had. And after about a year, I started to meet some people that were aligned with this new version of myself. Old friends out, new friends in, kind of thing. And it happens over time slowly, but that's why you have to stay on your path and live your truth. And God will put the right people in your path. You know, the universe will bring the right people that are aligned with where you're headed. You know, friends, women, all that kind of stuff. But any kind of reactions you get from people, or, you know, people distancing themselves from you, not inviting you to do stuff, you know, don't take it personally. Because it's really just about their limitations. It's not about your worth. You have to protect your energy. Set boundaries for people. And avoid energy vampires. You only want to be around people who inspire you, motivate, uplift you, people who support your growth, people who are with you through thick and thin, the good times and the bad times, people that ride with you, ride or die. That's what we want. Protect your energy. You have to recharge. I spend a lot of time alone. I've lived alone for a long time, and I am definitely ready for the right woman, but I don't know when it'll happen. But I still pray to God to bring the right woman into my life. But you know what? Your path is different, man. You have to embrace your path. Understand that you're here for a reason. You just have to figure out what that reason is and ask God to give you the intuition. Give you the intuition to trust yourself. Ask God to light your path, to make it clear as day what you should be doing, and give you the courage to execute on it. That's the thing. And keep rising, man. Your tribe will find you when the time is right. So, anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Subscribe if you're not already. Dropping videos daily. Like the video. Comment down below if you are the chosen one. Let me know your thoughts. Catch you guys later.